It is time for a bit more America, because for 20 points in summer of Series 35, you can go ahead and grab yourself the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And yes, one of the very few remaining proper muscle cars. I know, I'm going to make some people angry with that comment. Anyway, it does look pretty evil at the front, as the Dark Horse should. Going to the side, it resembles a lot of stuff from, I'd want to say, like the latest generation Shelby GT500. Going to the back, it also does resemble it a bit as well, but I like how they've restyled the back and especially the rear badge. Going to the inside, we don't have any sort of dials or gauges or whatever. In fact, all we've got on here are two infotainment displays. One that gives us all of our various assorted rev things, and one over here which is just regular infotainment. And now let's go ahead and take a listen to this wonderful majestic vehicle. So here we're now over in the upgrade shop, and the first thing we're doing is jumping straight to conversion and seeing what we have in regards of engine swaps. We've got quite a fair few this time around. We've got ourselves a 6.7 litre V8 turbo diesel, we've got a 5.2 litre V8, we've got an 8.4 litre V10, which is our, I believe, Dodge Viper engine. We've also got a 7.7 litre V12 and a 7.2 litre V8, which I think, oh wow, that makes nearly 1,000 brake horsepower just in the engine alone. Speaking of engine related things, we can also go ahead and make this thing supercharged if we want to, or we can go ahead and make this thing twin turboed. Going to aero and appearance, and of course front bumper, we've just got ourselves a Forza Aero with the tow hook, which is honestly a bit sad. And then going to the back, we have got ourselves two interesting wings. We've got ourselves this one from APR Performance, which is absolutely huge. To be quite honest, it kind of resembles a dinner table. And then we've got a slightly smaller APR Performance wing, which again resembles that of the Shelby GT500. Now we don't have the body kit sadly, which is a bit of a shame because I was hoping we'd get those from the other sort of 2024 Mustang variant, but maybe we'll get those in a future update. And of course, not to be outdone, we also have the Forza wing too. Oh, and the option to remove it entirely. And while this thing's got a lot of power, which we didn't actually go over, so I'll do that in just a minute, this thing does start out on sport tyres with the option to take them up to semi-slick or full racing slick. So as promised, the stats of this thing are as follows. It's got 500 brake horsepower, 418 foot-pounds of torque, and it weighs nearly 4,000 pounds with a 5.04 litre engine. And now, let's go and check out something special. And here it is. We have got ourselves a race tune for S1, top of S1, made for us by Big Macintosh 762, like normal, our fantastic local tuner. Here is the share code. Feel free to go ahead and download that. And I'm going to do that right now and go and see what stats it gives us. So with those upgrades installed, it shaves off nearly 1,000 pounds worth of weight from this thing, which is truly, honestly, kind of incredible, and a 920 brake horsepower for 91,250 credits. And now, let's go racing. But before we go anywhere, here is a little look at the paints. Going to advanced, we actually have 3 paint groups, which I haven't seen on a vehicle in a very, very long time. So paint group number 1 is the main body of it. Paint group number 2, what have we got? What is paint group number 2? Is it the little grey bits? No, it is this stripe along the top. And what is paint group number 3? Are these going to be the darker bits? Yes, they are indeed. Look at that. What a livery. That looks awful. So what we're going to do instead is take a look at the manufacturer colours. We've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 different colours for this thing. And I've got to say, that looks really, really, really nice. Now, while I've had a chance to see quite a fair share of Mustangs, yes, even in the UK, this one has also just, well, it's been hiding somewhere. I don't know where it's been hiding, because I've not had a chance to see one of these yet. But honestly, I really would like to. So if anybody happens to have a spare, just, message me on Twitter. I'd love to see it in person, please. I also want to drive it. A lot. And away we go. We are in the field with 11 other modern muscle cars, and our aim is to try and beat them all. Now we've got a car with an absolutely massive wing, so I don't think turning is going to be too much of a problem, and I'm hoping a straight line speed should be pretty good considering how much power we've got. In fact, going out of the first turn, we're up in third already, which is honestly nuts. I don't think I've had a car go from, 8th to 3rd, make that second very, very quickly before. But that is absolutely absurd. I love it. There's another Mustang up here, so let's go ahead and see. Can we make our way past that one? Nope, we are very sideways. Now, if you want one of these, they are surprisingly street legal, even though they've got a massive V8. And also, there's first place. Thank you very much. But if you want one, it'll cost you £65,585 sterling. I'm not sure what that is in US dollar, but hopefully that'll be up on screen while I'm talking. But honestly, this thing does look pretty good, and it sounds pretty good. so hopefully I get to see one in person eventually. In the meantime, the tune that Mac put together for us has done an absolutely amazing job of propelling us to first place really quickly. Like I say, I think that's about the quickest any car that I've tested has gone from 8th to 1st, which is honestly immense. So definitely go ahead and download that tune, it's worth it. As ever, 95%, one more turn to go, there we go, and across the line we go with honestly a lot of space between us and everybody else. A first place and a time of 1 minute 54. That's a sub 2 minute time. Now, that was quite the race indeed. Now, the Mustang comes in a lot of various assorted, I guess, design levels and trims, that being EcoBoost Premium, GT, GT Premium, and this, the Dark Horse. But I think we need to add on one more, and call it the Max Special, because we've got another tune from him coming up just about now, if I can find it. And here it is. It promises over 1,000 brake horsepower, and we're at S2903. So let's go ahead and once again haul up the share code. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and download that. And we're going to go and check it out about now. So with these upgrades, it comes to £3,033. And when I said just over 1,000, how's about 1,876 brake horsepower? You know, just a little increase in power, just not much, you know. Okay, here we're now at the... Wait a second, this isn't the main festival. This is, or at least is the back of it anyway. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bit of a wheelie check like we normally do. So reverse into first, and we're away. Yeah, I think it's safe to say this thing's pretty good. Or should I say, it's wheelie good. I'm not sorry for the pun. So here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip like normal. We're going to go ahead and actually run this thing up on to roughly, where are we, about 4,500 revs, and let's go ahead and see what we've got, because away we go. We've got a little bit of a wheelie off the line. This thing is kind of all over the place. Try and get it to settle down. Oh, it's not settled, it's angry. Just gonna go ahead and get this back in place. Okay, take two. This time we're using launch control. I was told not to, but away we go, and hopefully we don't start going all over the place. There we go, that's a better launch. Right, let's see what we get down at the end of the drag strip. Hopefully I get something good. Through the camera at 229, and off the end of the runway at 258, and absolutely zero brakes. Why does this happen every single time? So, after our interesting little encounter with the drag strip, we're going to go ahead and actually get a chance to upgrade this thing ourselves. The first thing I'm doing is making every American mad and making it all-wheel drive, and we're going to go ahead and slap in the 7.2 litre V8. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. And also twin turbo it straight up to 1,600 and something brake horsepower. And then up to 1,800 and something brake horsepower. And now all I've got to do is everything else. I'll be right back. So with those upgrades installed, it is now time to go ahead and tune 7 different gears. However, before we go any further, here's this week's Forza Horizon shop. We've got the Alpine A110, we've got a thin watch, we've got the announcer car horn, which sounds a bit like this. Wonderful. We've also got ourselves the Aston Martin DB11, the This Is Fine Forza link phrase. We've got the Horizon Super Wheelspin and the regular Horizon Wheelspin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Like usual, I've also gone ahead and fast travelled to the edge of the motorway, and I want to see how close we get to that motorway grate. So hopefully we're pretty close to it. Come on, how fast do we get today? We're actually in front of it. Okay, back into reverse we go. There we go, any second. Perfect. Right, here we are now over at the edge of the motorway, so let's go ahead and get ourselves on to good old-fashioned launch control, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what top speed we get out of this thing, and I'm hoping, since it's got a dumb amount of power, that it's going to be something pretty good indeed. Feel free to go ahead and put your guesses in the comments now. Okay, out of the speed zone at 277.54, we have got the downhill and speed camera to go, and this thing is showing no signs of giving up anytime soon. Okay, our camera should be, there it is, 280.12 going downhill, 281, 282, did we get 283? Nope, not this time around, only 282, which given this thing is a pretty cool muscle car and still weighs an absolute ton, is actually really good. But there's one question left, and that is, although it's good forwards, how good is it going sideways? We'll go ahead and chuck it into the drift zone now and try and find an answer to that question. I'm hoping it's going to be good because it is very sideways and chucking out a load of points, and 41,600 for attempt number 1. We're going to ignore the wall then, nothing happened. Going back in now for round number 2, let's go ahead and see what we get. 41,600 to beat. Let's try and see if we can get that car around just a little bit nicer. And out the other side at 39,398 points, which is, again, pretty cool. And what a slide going out of there. Very, very nice indeed. But that is the video on the Ford Dark Horse Mustang. It is honestly a pretty cool indeed. It's only 20 points. It will take roughly about half an hour of your time. And honestly, I'd say it's definitely worth it because it can put the S650 and also the most recent edition, the other Ford Mustang, to shame very, very quickly. Seriously, I was watching this thing being tested and it was fast. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe, and send this video to someone else that likes Mustangs and wants to have one of these in their collection someday. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, tech out. See ya! The question is, will there be a Mustang faster than this?